fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo! Hey everybody, and welcome back to the stream, video, whatever this is, because this has been the wrap up. This is the finale of what has been an amazing month, in my opinion, wrapping up Duality Part 2 in this one. And I want to grade it. And this is something that we've become, I think, pretty accustomed to running. We've been doing this for a while now. And I think as a whole, you're looking at what is probably the best month we've ever had in Star Trek Fleet Command. I really feel like that's kind of exaggeration. What the heck is on? I got dirt or something. Oh, it's on this side. Oh, great. My kids got paint on my children. Any parents out there can relate? Comment down below how you can relate. Dadgummit. Okay. Anyway, this has been an amazing month. Now, I am hoping to go over some of what happened this month in greater detail. I actually reached out to the dev team asking them if they would help me out. I want to compare how the events and the economy gave out resources on commons, etc. this month compared to previous months to really get numbers on how much better it was. But let's start with grading the arc and grading everything that transpired first. We'll start with some of the minor stuff, including the avatars and the frames, just because people gripe at me that I don't talk about these enough. There are the people who really love them, so we'll give them some love. Obviously, we're focusing on the Romulan and Klingon War. So here's your Duality arc with the Klingon Empire, the House of Martok. Then we got the Thanksgiving. Everybody got the Thanksgiving avatar, I think because they forgot to put it somewhere, so they just had to kind of like really quickly, oh, here it is. It's free. Instead of putting it in an event. Or maybe it was that plan all along. Who knows? The world may never know. And then we got a few other frames and stuff, like the 3-year anniversary frame that came through. Obviously, the 29th being the 3-year anniversary of the game, and then a couple of other cool things that, including things that I simply didn't get, like this Borg horror for Halloween. Oh gosh, I'm so glad. Well, it's October, but so angry that I don't have some of these amazing ones. But Romulan Victory. Victor, some of the stuff that I don't pay a lot of attention to, and I really should, because then I get mad that I don't have it. But let's also talk about officers real quick. And of course, we have Sela, which is a big one. We have finally the finished out group of Borg, where we now have Borg Barrett. Where's Borg Barrett? Borg Barrett right over here. 11 of 11 because, well, couldn't do 0 of 10. I guess it wouldn't make enough sense for people. So we'll go over those. Let's talk about some of the officers from this group first. We got Tomahawk, we got Sela, we have Borg, Barrett. Let's start with Sela. Now, Sela is interesting. Now, I was talking to one of the higher level players that hangs out around the streams, and I think that they're at level 54 now. And honestly, they're not finding a lot of use to Sela. And that's understandable. That's fine. I will be really interested to see how Sela matches up when the rest of the group is fleshed out. Right now, I give the officers that were added a B. It's nothing amazing, but they all are useful. Now, as you know, Pride of Romulus is not a fleshed out group. There's 2 Pride of Romulus officers, Tomahawk and Sela. I like Tomahawk a little bit more. We're finally getting that anti-Klingon roundup. Remember, there's only one anti-Klingon officer before, Lenar, and now there's 2. So you can actually run a full anti-Klingon build. Like, got a Katinga that's trying to take you on, Sharvanik is captain, Tomahawk, Lenar, 3 Romulans to take out the Klingons. So, I mean, it all works, and that would be a battleship Klingon loadout. But anyway, all of that now being able to have a fully well-rounded set, it's nice to see them giving some love to other factions beside the Federation, because Star Trek is more than just the Federation. A lot of times it was the enemies, or even just the mysterious would-be foes, the neutral zone that we always saw the Enterprise messing around with Tomahawk and them in the Next Generation. So I've really liked the officers. The captain's ability is kind of meh. I do like it. Not necessarily amazing. Sela, really curious to see if she gets matched with to where this max synergy for the captain's maneuver becomes good. But the secondary is basically anti-con. The good thing about Sela, though, for the average player, immediately good. So that has to be given credit when you're going through the grade. Probably not as valuable as a max, especially when you have Honor Guard Worf. It's definitely superior to Sela as a critical officer, but still, I say good. Now let's also talk about Borg Barrett real quick, wrapping it up. The advanced warp theory, I love how there's like, yeah, we're not gonna bother fixing broken Barrett. We'll just give him a brand new ability. And to be honest, I like the new ability. The warp speed boost, especially for a lot of players, even like myself, as you're getting more and more of the game from the 30s into the 40s using deep space, having the ability to have the warp times not be ridiculous. Well, it is nice. It's not amazing, but it is nice, and it is truly useful. And then it's nice, though, more so because now you can have multiple loadouts. You can have 2 full Borg mining loadouts and a regular mining loadout. And what essentially it's done is the game's taken it to where you can focus on the Borg when you get to the 20s and 30s and start using your original miners as away teams or under deck levels. And that's really useful because if you remember, let me scroll up and show you real quick. Look at Supreme, for example. Defense and health. Obviously need those for multiple officers in PvP or away teams. Look at Stein. Defense and health. With health as the primary. Once again, this is something you need in away teams and as a lot of officers like Zhao, 5 of 11 now, Spock, all those use health or defense for their stats. Marcus, very important. Then Barrett is your attack officer. So all of these having some value in one way or another, to where once you get the Borg and you've got 2 of 10 and you got Borg triple or 2 of 11, then you've got the Borg Barrett, the Borg Supreme, the Borg Stein, all that giving you more options as a player. Even at an early level, the tier 1 Borg miners are freaking amazing. So the path that they've chosen, even if players are getting some of these, you don't have to worry like in times past where, well, if you didn't get into tier 3, they sucked. Shout out to Mando, who got me while we were just chilling. We were both hunting, and rippity doodah. Appreciate the hit, and we'll repair that later. So, as you even on my Antares, just a further proof here, I've got a full Borg loadout on my Antares as I'm making this video, mining through for my dailies right now. So let's move on to the biggest thing, and that was the events. And I've got a visual representation here. One, y'all been able to see my stream throughout the year and throughout the month. One of the things that you'll notice is if I go over to resources, I ended the month, this is not counting anything that I get today, with 51 billion in just par steel tokens. Now granted, I went to level 40 purposely. If you were level 32, you weren't getting those. But that doesn't matter necessarily because everybody across the board, even down to the 20s, saw very, very heightened reward levels for completing through events. Now par steel was the primary beneficiary for most people, which is helping them push further into leveling up their base. So there's always a purpose to everything, and we can see past your wily ways, Scopely, but it's okay because honestly that's what we want. Like, we can't gripe about it. We want to progress in the game. We want to go higher level. We want to be better. Well, the game is trying to make that happen. And I ended up with 4 billion in titanium and then quite a bit in dilithium. And then, of course, the par steel tokens. All of this was due to a resource infusion in the events and also uncommon infusion. If you're going through materials, y'all know that my 4-star all comes from events and things like that. Well, here we go. Loaded out with lots of uncommon. And this is me after upgrading my jelly and stuff, saving for the Valdor. All of this has been very beneficial. And man, it just makes me want to go build a... saving it, but the Katinga's tempting. I'm sorry, the Kelvin's tempting, but I made a whole video crapping on it, so I probably shouldn't do that. But Kelvin prep starting now, all thanks to the events. Now, once again, as a lower level player, even if you weren't to where I'm at right now, you still saw a lot of resources getting bumped up, and that included uncommon. Now, the key is it can't drop back down. And because of the events, the storyline for me in the Duality Arc Part 2, honestly, the war storyline, I'm not enjoying it as much as I would want. I'd give the storyline a C so far. But in terms of the events that we had, I know people are going to complain because there was 2 leaderboards. I know people don't like that there was Armada events. And I do agree that there was too many Armada events because they didn't give another set of like 4,000 rare directives. But events still were amazing. Even if you didn't complete all the ticket events, even if you didn't complete all of the regular events and just did your battle pass, you saw heightened rewards across the board for everybody. And there was even an ability for most people to participate more than normal. That was a great step in the right direction for the game, all to get you a better economic system. So I think that all that has to be given a massive A+. The economy is an A+ in this month. It's rare to give that. We're not saying it's happening again. It better happen again. But for this rare month, the events simply blew us out the water with how good they were for everybody. My level 19 account was still getting help, even though most of this stuff is not geared towards level 19. It was still more than what the same account would have seen 6 months or 12 months ago. So this is a very, very positive step. And I'm just gushing with positivity here. And please, Scopely, don't bite me in the butt. But the officers were good. Not perfect, but good. The events in the Battle Pass was amazing. Even the story was okay. And the avatars, there's not a lot to complain about. The biggest complaint I can say is, hey, we need more Armada sourcing if we're going to run Armada events. And hey, stop running Doomsday events because Doomsdays are stupid. Nobody cares about Doomsday worms. But I'm really getting nitpicky. This month was fantastic. So for the first time ever, I've never done this. The month gets an A+. Literally, if this was how months were continuing forward, obviously having the same type of progression where, hey, as the game gets deeper, we give you more to get you to deeper. Fantastic. But man, for me personally, November was an A+ month. But I want to know what you grade it as, because as always, I take all of these comments and I pass them along. And they watch it too. Look, the devs watch the videos. The devs read comments too. It's not like I have to go past them every word that you say. But if you interact with the chat, if you interact with the videos, and you interact with the comment section, your feedback's getting passed along, as well as with surveys and other things. So I give it an A+. Yeah, I'm not even going to put fancy graphics on the screen. I'm not going to do what I normally do, because I really just thought it was a great month. And shout out to the dev team for making this month happen. Still some things I don't like. Hated the 1500 hostile nerf. I'm still fighting that, but that doesn't ruin the month for me. Absolutely dislike that I don't have enough Armadas to do Armadas all the time. Still, not enough to ruin it. Everything that I needed this event to be from my accounts, 19, 26, 28, and 40, the main ones that I play, the main 4, a massive improvement to what this game was just a few months ago. And the Duality arc is starting to turn into the best arc we've ever had. And the previous best arc was definitely the original series. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I am truly curious. Live long and prosper. Stay safe with their spouse cowboys. Spouse cowboys? I don't know what that was. Space Cowboys. Deuces. That's me, I guess. I don't know. Bye. That was weird.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.